Hey, film fans, you're watching Octopoddy with me, Craig.
And me, George.
So it's the big one, the one we've all been waiting for, the one you've all been waiting for.
18 months of
18
waiting.
Yeah, it's finally here. So after, when was it when it came out? April 2020.
2020, yeah.
We was all ready to book our tickets.
We was all excited. Sent the picture to each other. Cancelled.
Yeah, we sent it about the same time, didn't we?
So he was like, don't worry. Rona are finishing a month. We'll be there.
Yeah.
18 months later. And we've just watched it. It's finally out.
Back. So what we're talking about, No Time to Die. The fifth and final Daniel Craig entry as James Bond 007. So we're going to discuss the movie now. What we liked, what we didn't like. We are going to talk about major spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, don't listen to What are you listening to this for? Why are you listening to this?
I know you like us, but...
This is for us to find out if they do like the movie before they go and see it.
Then all but I mean...
Then yes, go and see it. I'd say go and see it.
Go and see it.
It's a phenomenon, isn't it? With a James Bond movie, it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad.
It's a big thing no matter what.
You kind of got to see it, haven't you?
Yeah.
So...
I think that's given enough time for people to go away.
Yeah, so, yeah, if you haven't seen it, go and see it now before you actually listen to the rest of the poddy. And otherwise, major spoilers. So we're going to get into the spoilers now. So, James Bond dies.
Biggie.
Biggie.
Who saw it coming? I didn't. I kind of did.
There was rumours for a while. Actually, there was an
article. Yeah.
Last year, because it was meant to be delayed till October time, wasn't it? And there was some rumours going around in the magazines that one, Bond becomes a father.
Yep.
And two, Bond dies. And there was a couple of things.
2 out of 2.
Well, yeah, exactly. So there was those rumours were in fact true. So that must have been someone that had seen the movie or worked on the movie and leaked it out. So those rumours were actually real. I
said to you as soon as I come out, I think I said all them years of unprotected sex finally caught up with him.
What? Oh, well, having a
kid.
Yeah,
exactly. Dad, yeah.
It's something that you think, because I was watching it again, I've seen it twice now, and I was watching it again the other day, and it seems so obvious, doesn't it? A way to, move Bond on.
100%.
100%. Which seems, they've never done it before.
Yeah, this is the best way they could, well, maybe not the best way, but this is maybe one of the only ways they could push Bond in another direction. It was the only couple of things that are left where let's try and get a female in to rival Bond.
Yeah.
Who's really at his level.
They've kind of done that a few times already.
They have.
They used to do it a lot in the 90s and that kind of she's the female Bond.
She's
the same as Bond. She's just as tough as Bond. But they're never really quite, are they? They never really are.
No.
Like you said, what were you talking about earlier? Oh, with Michelle Yeoh and
yes.
Someone ever died.
She's just a side character.
They set up that she's going to be just as hard as him, but she's the one that ends up getting captured. And
exactly. Whilst this absolutely doesn't do that, which I was pleased to see. Bond didn't need to save her. It was very much she was in control of herself.
Who are we talking about now? Madeline or 007?
007.
No, 007.
Yeah, Naomi, whatever her name was.
Naomi, her name is.
Yeah. I think she was quite well written. She didn't really get in the way too much.
There's a lot of stuff where, there was a lot of complaints online.
Yeah.
You know, these people are like, "Oh, James Bond's gone woke."
Yeah.
And there was a lot of hatred about it. Well, not hatred, but you know, when these things like, oh, "I'm not going to watch it because now they're going to make Bond second fiddle to the women." And stuff.
Yeah.
And it's true. Every action scene he's in, there's a woman helping him, isn't there? Pretty much.
Yeah, there is.
There's a woman, either Madeline's helping him, or Paloma, Anna de Armas in that bit. She's helping him.
Yeah, amazing.
Or Naomi, the new 007.
Yeah. Which again, they haven't really done.
Bond's still the man. He's still the main guy.
And that's why I say it's well written, because they didn't lose actually. He didn't become all defenceless, useless.
No.
He didn't actually really need their help. They kind of gave him just a helping hand.
They were never going to do that.
No.
A lot of people panicking. They were never going to suddenly turn him into some wimp who's getting rescued by
exactly, which a lot of people thought, he's becoming a dad and all this. They've turned it really wimpy. But no, it certainly wasn't the case.
Because the idea of Bond is that he's kind of about he's a male fantasy figure in a lot of ways, isn't he?
Yeah.
So there is a certain type of, you can call it toxic masculinity if you want, but that idea that Bond, he's the ideal of a certain type of man that like, he's single, he's a player.
He takes no shit.
Yeah.
He's very much out for himself.
Anti-authority, but still is on the side of good.
Yeah.
He's good at everything. He's invincible. Sleeps with every woman he can. Do you know what I mean? There's no ties him down. He's just like that kind of freedom kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So giving him a family
brought him
changes
back.
that.
Yeah, 100%. I think.
Does it destroy the character?
I don't think so. I actually thought again quite well written. I said to you again when we left the first time we were watching. I said, big dead giveaway at the start. She's like holding her gut, and he was like, "Oh, I thought she
watched
just had
Alfred this time, the second time.
I thought she just had stomach problems."
Well, there's that other bit actually when at the beginning when they're saying she's in the car,
yeah,
and she turns to him and she says, "I've got something to tell you," and he's like, "I bet you have," isn't it? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and we think obviously it's like she's telling him a secret that he's working with Spectre, but she's trying to tell him that she's pregnant.
Yeah. So again, I think it's quite well written. It got a bit confusing, and I kind of get the reason why.
What, how it happened?
No.
Do you want me to explain?
The birds and beasts thing. No. What I mean is, you know, when he went back to go and meet her in her old cabin.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh yeah, she's not yours." I'm just like, I kind of get it.
That was the filmmakers. I can see what they were doing there. It was almost like they kind of wimped out a little bit, isn't it? Because they wanted the audience to think, oh, she's not really his daughter, but she could become like a surrogate daughter to him.
Yes.
And then, yeah.
It becomes then blatantly obvious that she's his.
But then as soon as she's with Safin, he's like...
Yeah, we get on to him.
You bore a killer's child, that stuff and all that kind of thing. So it's like, makes out that he's... And he says that like when Bond comes to see him and he's like, she's your daughter. Maybe we should... I'm going to... Because we're kind of just getting straight into it. So let's go... 100%. Let's rewind.
Let's rewind it.
Let's talk about... I've got a few like film nerdy facts about the making of the movie.
That's what we love. That's what you're here for.
That's what I'm here for, isn't it? That it had a pretty difficult... production. A lot of Bond films have before. Quantum of Solace had a quite difficult one as well, and it seems to be something that happens with the Daniel Craig ones.
Yeah.
Like
it's taken a lot of years
time
in between films.
Yeah.
And there's always been that they've said, "Oh, yeah, it's coming out in the next year or two." And there has been delays. I remember Skyfall being delayed.
Yeah.
I actually remember Spectre being delayed.
Yeah.
Now obviously this was kind of a little bit out of their hands, but it probably did help them.
This has been the longest. I mean, it was like 5 years between them when they got released, which is one of the longest kind of times. There was 6 years between GoldenEye and Living Daylights. Not Living Daylights, I mean License to Kill.
Yeah, but
at least there was a change of actor. You could see why there was a slight delay.
Yeah, exactly. This is, they've not changed.
And so it's actually 6 years now because it's been with the delay from COVID.
Yeah, I count it as 6 years. Yeah.
There's been a bit more of a, like I said, I was realising the other day that in Pierce Brosnan, between 95 and 2002, so 7 years, he did 4 James Bond movies.
Exactly, but...
he's done 5...
5 films in 15 years. I know, but it feels like he's done it longer, only because it's taken long to get these out.
And Roger Moore was Bond for 12, 13 years, wasn't he? From
12 years.
73
to 85.
Yeah. And he did 7 Bonds in that time. So Craig's the longest running Bond, but he's not done as many films as some of the others.
No, but then his films have probably been longer, more production. But then that's the way things have gone, though.
There was a bit Roger Moore ones. They had that thing where it was a bit more same writer, same director. John Glenn did a lot of the 80s ones and stuff. So
they just
had the formula. They just smashed them out.
They just started churning them out. He turned up on set and he did his thing. Yeah, and that's very evident.
And because with this one, obviously there was a lot of talk that Spectre could be the last. It ended on a way that could be the last one.
Yeah, we didn't watch that, did we? No. But when that obviously ended, we see Bond and Madeline kind of just going off for retirement, and it's kind of like, because at that point I didn't think Bond was coming back. I didn't think Daniel Craig was coming back.
It did feel like an ending, didn't it?
I thought that he was pretty much like, fuck this shit, I'm out, because he was kind of giving up with the schedules. He was hurting himself more and more because he still wanted to do stunts. he was kind of just, and I remember we saying, I think he said something along the lines of he'd rather stick glass in his eyes,
slit his own throat,
than play Bond again. And then when I saw he was coming back for this one, I thought, well, hold on a second. But then I wasn't worried.
All I think of is the bit in The Simpsons with Krusty the Clown.
Yeah.
When he's like, they reversed a dump truck full of money on the side of my house. I'm not made of stone. That's what I think.
Exactly. They just come to him, and what we were talking about heavily before we watched the film as well is that the more he's done, he started getting into producer chair, didn't he?
Yeah,
It was starring Daniel Craig, producer Daniel Craig. He's all over the film because I think he's actually enjoyed this film. One, he's been paid a shit ton of money. Of course, he's going to enjoy it. And two, he's had a bit more free reign on what he can do and maybe what he can implement to the role because he's done it for long enough.
And because he was like toying with not coming back.
And he's probably thought at the end of it, he thought, thank fuck, that's over. I can go off and do Knives Out 2.
And get paid 100 million or whatever.
For that as well.
2 and 3.
So he's like, and that's less taxing on his body.
Yes.
And he can just turn up and be silly.
I think that was a lot of it because he talks in some interviews and stuff that he really did hurt himself, didn't he, in Spectre, I think.
Spectre, he really did hurt himself, yeah.
And
again, why probably delays in that.
He's only getting older, and I think he actually asked his Rachel Weisz, his wife, and said like about he's thinking of doing it again. She's like, "Well, you promised me you can't get injured," and he did, didn't he?
Exactly. So
you can tell a little bit in this one because he doesn't do a lot of his own. He's still doing the running and the shooting a bit, and the fighting, but there's not as much hand-to-hand fighting in this one like he's done in some of the other ones.
No, but again,
the stunts. It's a bit more old school. Like you can see, like the stuntman diving, swinging off the bridge, but covering his face, or
even on the motorbike. So I was even watching it first time around. I was thinking, nah, it's not him.
It never really bothers me that much. I don't think
it doesn't bother me.
It's part of movie magic that the stuff we have to pretend that they do their own stunts and stuff. We know that they don't really do it.
No,
it's never really been something that really bothers me like that. Like it doesn't take me out of the movie.
No, because you're going there for his acting. He's not a stuntman.
Yeah.
But as you said, he did all this. He's done his fair share of stunts.
I was watching an interview with Matt Damon once.
Yeah.
And he was saying about people going, I watch the interviews with actors going, I'll do all my own stunts. And Matt Damon's like, no, you don't.
I love that.
And he's like, because they don't. Like,
no.
Because you don't want to kill your star, like chucking him off a bridge or whatever.
Exactly.
Tom Cruise is the exception because he's a madman. Do you know what I mean?
He's crazy, though.
He's just crazy, so they're not going to tell him that he can't jump out of a plane or whatever.
Yeah.
That's up to him, isn't
exactly.
it?
He crushed his ankle, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But swinging it back, I think all the stunts that were in it were well choreographed, well done.
Really well done, yeah.
Didn't really take it away from the film. If we're going to go and try and talk from sort of start to end, it was a really nice tie-in with the whole Vespa thing. I did look at it first time out thinking, I keep fucking dragging her about. She's just got paid 50 million because her picture's up on the grave.
Yeah, so there was a little... That's the thing, it actually ties in... See, this is the different thing with Daniel Craig's
and this is one thing I've heavily respected with these films, is that they had... At first, I again, when these films only come out, I was like 6, 8, 12, I just thought it was Bond. But actually getting older, I thought, actually, like you were trying to explain to me, the whole reboot, the whole time, the whole story in, it's the first time we've actually seen that from a Bond franchise, Bond era, where, a Bond era is actually trying to tie it all in together. They've not erased what happened in the last film, like who he ends up with and all of that, and they don't ever explain. It does lead in very, very nicely.
There's a kind of... I think it goes back to what Daniel Craig's trying to do with the character, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's trying to play him like if it's a real movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like he's a real character.
Yeah.
Playing him like a character over 5 movies. A bit like Christian Bale with the Dark Knight Batman one.
100%. Yeah.
There's a beginning and there's an end to it, and there's the thing.
Yeah, and it was the first time they've tried it, and not being funny, I've quite liked how they've done it. There's been some proper dodgy parts.
There's been some rough moments.
There's been some rough moments.
Quantum of
Solace, and Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
But then even that, I rewatched that.
I don't think Spectre's very good.
I don't think Spectre's very good. Top 3, very quickly, is really unrelated.
Top 3 what?
In Daniel Craig's out of his 5. I know it's not loads to go from.
Well, kind of, it's 5. You might as well rate them.
Oh, I might as well rate all 5. Yeah, good point. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'd say Casino Royale.
At a bomb.
At A Bomb. That's number 1.
No, I thought you meant that. So which first?
No, I'm going first. I'm going best to shit.
Okay.
Casino Royale. No Time to Die.
Yeah.
Skyfall.
Okay.
Spectre.
Yeah.
Quantum of Solace.
I think that's pretty much right.
And probably a lot of people would say that, but that's where I would look at that now.
Yeah, I think Spectre. I don't like the whole thing. That was where the continuity thing did fall down for me a little bit. Was where.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it like I'm the architect of your pain, James, and it's like, hang on. Now you're trying to retcon it all and make it like.
Yeah, you're telling me you set up Mr. White and Le Chiffre.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Because, so, all of these guys, like Le Chiffre, they kind of established what his motivation was, that he was in the hole for 100 million against people who were going to cut his arms off.
Yeah.
Not that Blofeld had put him up to it and said, oh, we need to get back at James Bond.
Exactly. That he could have probably funded himself
my dad
anyway.
gave him the bigger bedroom when we was a kid.
Exactly that.
And then, and then Silver hates M, but also he's
works
working
for
Blofeld
as well.
Rubbish,
yeah, exactly. It's like that's when it. Dominic Green, fucking hell.
Do you remember him?
He's
after the water.
Yeah, fucking.
He wants the water.
Get.
And then actually, really working for Bond.
For
really, so Blofeld is like mastermind genius guy.
Yeah.
Who just wants to get back at James Bond
for being.
So he
for
knows
taking all the
that
limelight.
Bond is now going to join the MI6 somehow.
Yeah.
And become a 00 somehow.
Yeah. And he wants to start all Crystal Straight in his pain. And he starts out with Vespa.
And he starts up with Spectre.
Yeah.
Right? And all these people join him because they also hate Bond that they've never met.
And they've never met. They're just going off the fact that James Bond had a bigger room.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And it did, and that's why I think that's my biggest problem with this whole era, is that they should have started tying that in from the beginning. That Blofeld was there, but we didn't know much about him. They should have started giving him subtle hints.
A bit like Thanos in the...
A bit like Thanos, a bit like the Joker in Batman Begins and all of that. They should have maybe just put
just make him as Blofeld. It doesn't have to be his brother. He doesn't have to have a personal vendetta against Bond.
Yeah, just the big boss who's hiring all these guys. When they start making it into, I'm your like half brother from another mother, it's just a bit like, It's all kind of like, why didn't we know this before? Like, where's this all come from and stuff? Exactly. But, again... I keep losing off track of the film, but if we're following off, so the first action scene's great.
Yeah, there was that extended opening sequence. Because I was waiting for it, and I was thinking they're not going to have an opening sequence.
I know it was getting a bit long,
I was getting a bit worried there. They're not going to have a title sequence.
It was quite slow. Loved the use of Louis Armstrong's "We Have All the Time in the World."
Yeah, they connect to that.
John Barry's. We also come out.
They used John Barry's score in the bit where he's talking to M. By the River Thames.
Yeah, very slow, very.
They actually use
in the distance.
you can actually hear.
But you can hear it. Yeah. So I said to Craig when I came out, I was like, they've done quite a lot of callbacks to old films there, whether it be the sound, whether it be different items or different things like that. It was quite cool to see.
Yeah, you got like different cars.
100%.
You got Timothy Dalton's cars in it.
I did enjoy that in the cinema because beforehand I was like, look, it's coming back, and he was like, look.
Doesn't use the spikes though.
It doesn't use the spikes. Don't use the laser. Wasted opportunities. Not giving that the gadgets. But
salt erosion.
Salt erosion. Yeah, absolutely amazing. And I want that car as well. But I think it was a great extended sequence. And then we go into the song. Now, when me and Craig first heard it, No Time to Die, Billie Eilish was like, what? We were saying we wanted like a funky. Yeah, you got no time to die. They've
not really done a funky one for a while. They kind of did two rocky ones.
Yeah, since Madonna's Die Another Day, that was funky.
They did the two rocky ones to start off with, and then after that it's just been ballads all the way.
Yeah, which they just followed. They just like, what did Adele do that went really well? Yeah. Ballad. Let's do a ballad. What did? Right, yeah, exactly. But watching it with the film sequence and listening to the lyrics, and whilst we're in the cinema,
it fits totally.
It fits in very well. The lyrics and everything kind of does make sense. And it wasn't totally not enjoyable when listening to it. I kind of wasn't waiting.
It's growing on me. I've been singing it and like to myself a bit. That's not how it goes.
No, that's my little funky. That's my funky way of singing it. How I remember enjoying it. But again, I think that worked quite well. And then once we come off of the song,
we're in Jamaica.
Oh
no, we have that like heist sequence with Hugh Dennis.
That was quite cool. Seeing Hugh Dennis in there.
There was one thing I don't really like about the movie.
Go on.
The Russian scientist guy.
He was a knob. He was such a waste of a character.
Yeah, they're trying to make him comedy.
Yeah, but he wasn't even funny. And I couldn't count how many sides he's playing for. He was playing for about 5 different sides. He was MI6. He was CIA. He was this. He was that. He was
working for Safin all the way through.
I know, he's working for Safin all the way through, but then he's kind of like Spectre.
Like money? I don't know.
No, I don't get it.
We'll get back to later, because Safin is kind of an underwritten villain. He's got a lot of problems like that. Like,
yeah, and I didn't enjoy him.
We'll get to him.
But we'll get to him.
So we have that high sequence. It's kind of funny, well done, isn't it? It's kind of.
I loved the bit, and it was very, very satisfying when they dropped all those anti-gravity /bombs.
Yeah.
They dropped the big bomb down, and it's like the all the way down. That was quite cool because I saw that in the trailers. I thought, oh, maybe it's just going to be a bomb, but then obviously it was the anti-grav stuff. Quite cool to show off the technology.
It's like classic James Bond.
Like classic James Bond, but obviously the enemies. But then I get on to my other hatred of the film was this Hercules nonsense.
You didn't like the guffing?
I didn't like the COVID-19 element to this film.
Yeah, but it wasn't, because it was before COVID-19.
I know, but they
just
made it in a lab.
No, yeah.
No, I'm joking.
But what I'm saying is that the timeline doesn't make sense.
No, I get that. They didn't take it as an opportunity to go, let's make a film about that. But it just seemed very like obvious, but it's got some loopholes.
It's a nice idea, but there's a lot of problems with it.
It's a cool idea, but you've got to make sure you cover up all your holes. And
I don't know about that. I like holes. It's like MacGruber says. No, I mean, I think with plot holes don't matter to me.
Do they not?
There's a big thing like on the internet now, and there's a big culture that plot armor, plot holes. Because they think of it like a video game where everything's got to fit together and make sense. Kind of thing.
I get that.
No Time to Die. I like it because I like films that don't quite work like that, and it's got flaws, but the overall thing,
it definitely
the emotional thing,
100%, and the story that they were trying to tell. And that's why
the emotional through line
100%.
trumps the tiny details that don't quite make sense.
Definitely,
I mean. It's just that every Bond film's got to have like a MacGuffin kind of thing, and usually it's like, it's a nuclear warhead we're trying to get.
It can't be perfect.
It's a GoldenEye satellite system.
It's got to be something that goes global. It's something that's got to affect the world, because that's what James Bond's all about.
That's what Robert Wade and Neil Purvis, who they've written they've co-written every single one of the Daniel Craig ones.
Yeah,
and they wrote everything from World Is Not Enough onwards. Apparently, that's what their job is a lot of the time. They did interviews, and their job is a lot of the time is to come up
what is the big problem that they need to solve.
Well, they look at things that are going on. So they obviously were researching like viruses and nanotechnology, and if it's an interesting idea, like a targeted virus that can only target certain DNAs.
Yeah, COVID-19.
And then they try and tie it in with this kind of M's the one that did it, and trying to say like,
see, I left that film hating him.
I like he's a different. I like what they kind of. He's got a different relationship with this M.
Other than Judi Dench. Yeah. I like him as a character, but obviously he was the reason for James Bond's downfall.
Slightly.
Partly. 50%.
But I like that scene. I know we're kind of skipping ahead of ourselves, but I like the bit where he's... again, I think the whole movie's quite touching and moving, like on a human level, because there's that bit where they have the argument in the office.
Yeah.
And Bond's like, no, I'm out. You're not.
You're on your own.
You're not accepting that you made this mistake and stuff.
Yeah. It's quite cool to see that the other films, Bond was kind of like the naughty school kid,
kind of thing, and she was the
M was like
headmistress kind of thing.
Yeah, and even in Spectre, like M was always tracking his moves and was like, what you up to, like sort of thing. But this time round, Bond was kind of the more sensible one and was like, look, this shit I ain't dealing with it because this is definitely your fault. Own up to it. M's like, no, you can't tell me what to do. Even though M was thinking, you're probably onto something here.
And then they have that scene afterwards by the river.
which again,
in the John Bear bit, where M's just kind of like, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I respect you.
Please coming out.
Yeah,
I need
and then they get this mutual respect back.
100%.
There is that mutual respect.
It's a good scene. That was a good scene. But yeah, bringing it back. So we've got that's a massive scene. So yeah, then we skip into Jamaica. He's got this sexy hut, which it doesn't make sense.
I was thinking about that. I know what I said. I don't mind plot details and things.
Yeah, go on.
But he's got that like high tech hut.
Yeah.
Because he's got shitloads of money.
Yeah.
Where he gets paid quite well.
Where does he get the shitload of money?
They get paid quite well, I'd imagine, like these agents and stuff.
Yeah, but I know. But wouldn't you think they'd freeze all of his accounts?
Well, why not? He's not doing anything, is he?
No.
And he's got like that secret, like. I suppose that's not that hard a security measure to have, I suppose.
Oh, I'm just thinking, is it in Jamaica? What's he plugging it into? Coconuts?
No, coconut power. It's not like they're a third world country, you know what I mean? They haven't got enough power, electricity.
I know. All I think of is The Simpsons when they're on the island. And he's like, yeah, we get a couple of monkey butlers. Yeah, you start working on a coconut internet system and a Sega Mega Drive. You know, something like that. So I get it. No, it's not a third world.
Some monkey butlers, that would have been better.
Yeah, if he had a monkey butler called Bubbles.
Bubbles.
And then it would have made Bubbles. It would have made total sense.
And then he has meets up with Felix. And they kind of... Who's good.
I love him.
Yeah, he's cool.
I think I didn't use him enough.
The thing is with this one, we're kind of assuming they've been on more missions than we've seen together, aren't you? Because you only really see them in...
This is what annoys me, is that, coming back to it, and this is why these films grow on me even more and more, Timothy Dalton's was when they really, really homed in on that Felix relationship. So what annoys me is they're trying to make it at that level as Living Daylights and Licence to Kill, yet we didn't see enough of it in the previous films. I feel like I'm not expecting them to go on a mission together and be like, best
I think they do enough. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think they just do it in a way that we kind of assume there's other missions that we've never seen. Like, the ones we've seen are like the big missions, but he's gone on other missions.
Just like, accept it.
In between the movies.
Just accept that they help each other.
Yeah.
They've got mutual respect for each other. They obviously look out for each other. Yeah, I get that. But yeah, and then obviously we meet that fucking annoying guy, Chad, or whatever his name is. It's a typical American
Logan Ash.
Oh my god.
Billy Magnuson plays him. He's Logan Games Night.
Logan Ash.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds like a real name.
Logan Gash.
Look, that's probably his kind of... Just could have made a joke.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he should have made a joke about that.
It's a bit beneath Bond, isn't it, I think? More like Logan Gash. I don't think that would work.
He's more subtle than that, isn't he?
And then that's where he meets Naomi.
Yeah.
And she tricks him into, because you think he's gonna. Is that the bedroom?
I knew who she was.
See, that's the thing with this film's a bit wittier because it leads you one way.
Yeah, and then
it's the thing we've seen a million times before where he goes to bed with her, what meets her.
Yeah, and I thought maybe she just wanted to sleep with him to test him out.
And there's that other thing where they do this a couple of times with him, which works. Is like Bond figures it out. So when she reveals the thing, he already knows that she's a double A. He's not stupid. He knows he's getting
100%.
kind of set up a little bit.
And which was quite cool not to play him as that dumb character.
Yeah.
Like, he's just muscles. He does have a brain. He can figure it out.
Yeah, that's what I liked. Because Daniel Craig's always said that he doesn't want to be... I remember when Quantum of Solace came out, he said, I don't want to be...
just the hard man.
Physical Bond.
Yeah.
When people look back, he was the physical Bond. He was the one that did the running and the jumping and the punching and stuff.
Yeah.
So in this one, I think, he's definitely...
It suited him because, again, he probably couldn't put up with it.
Yeah.
And B, he just, again, it was his time to shine, show the more intellectual side to Bond, and it worked.
It works.
Yeah.
I think Craig's relaxed as the films have gone on, like every Bond does. Like,
gets more comfortable.
They get more comfortable in the suit, in the role. When the first couple of ones, you might be a bit overwhelmed or thinking, well, what have I got? I've got to try too hard.
Yeah,
I've got to try too hard.
Is that why Pierce Brosnan's Die Another Day's shit? He got too comfortable.
He's all right in it.
I know.
He's
well written.
He just plays it quite relaxed and stuff, isn't it? Like you said, you relax a bit.
It's the story around him. But again, that's for another time.
Yeah.
But overall, her character is great. The starting of it's great. She's just very much... You can tell she's very much what he was like when he first became 007.
Yeah.
Quite cocky, quite self-assured in what he can do. She was like, yeah, I could do this, I can do that. She was quite like, she probably could back it up, which she did in the film. Quite a good way to pass the 007 mantle one without obviously just saying, yeah, that's like Jamie Bond. So, again, I quite like how that was written. I didn't ruin it for me. I was kind of watching it thinking, yeah, go on, you know, fair enough. And then, so once we do that, obviously Bond says, no, I'm not joining up with you,
But then, we have the Paloma bit, where they go searching for the scientists.
Well, yeah, he basically tells he tells them, doesn't he? He goes, I'm not joining you, and then he goes to Felix, I'm joining you. So he's kind of working for the CIA a little bit, which is quite cool to see.
There's a lot of Daniel Craig's ones, a bit like Mission Impossible. You have to go rogue.
Yes.
He's gone rogue a few times now.
Yeah.
Off the grid kind of thing.
Yeah, he stops taking orders, and that's kind of his Bond. He's very much, yeah.
There's less of the, you want a mission Bond, this is it. The only couple of times like License to Kill is a bit more like, goes rogue.
You're on your own.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
With it. Quantum of Solace was like that, wasn't it? He was out of control. The MI6 is scrambling around trying to find him before
he was like taking his license to kill too far, fucking just killing everyone.
Skyfall, a little bit has to go on the run when like MI6 gets blown up and disbanded kind of thing. And then,
and same Spectre. MI6 might not be a thing anymore. So he kind of has to go out on his own.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't trust what's going on.
There's that thing with Bond, isn't it? See, this is something that Paul Greengrass said, the guy who directed a lot of the Bourne movies. He said, Bourne's one of us. He's fighting against the governments. They're the ones making all the shady deals and the secret wars and stuff.
Yeah.
Where he said Bond is the establishment. He's one of them.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of realise that a little bit with the Daniel Craig ones, that Bond is kind of a tool of the government.
Yeah.
License to Kill, that's not a good idea, is it?
No.
Giving some guy who's kind of fairly possibly unhinged.
Unhinged, a little bit. A license to kill, like literally, yeah.
Has this kind of has this kind of like shallow existence and then just kills. Yeah.
Because the reason why I like Daniel Craig's unhinginess as Bond, it's not even a word, unhinginess.
But I think I know what you mean.
Because again, his backstory.
Yeah, they've made him into a human, isn't it?
They've made him, the trauma and everything that he's had to deal with has led to this point.
He's an orphan, because this is the point of Bond. He's an orphan. This is why he is the way he is.
Yeah.
And it's kind of been hinted at in the other movies, but he's an orphan who's double orphan, isn't it? Because his foster parents that he actually kind of liked
killed in an avalanche
by Blofeld, his brother.
But Blofeld blames him.
Yeah.
Even though it was him who did it.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense. But then, okay, sounds like you killed him, fair enough, like in Futurama. Okay, sounds like you killed him, but okay.
Okay,
yeah. He wants to get revenge on him.
Exactly. But
then he. Yeah, so that's who he is, right? And then so he's an orphan. He's looking for some meaning in this world. Joins the Navy.
Yes.
M finds him, as we've hinted at with Silver in Spectre. She finds these men who are like a bit like who haven't got much of a life.
Yeah.
They're like got a chip on their shoulder. They live this kind of shallow existence because.
What was he? Was he in the Navy in Casino Royale then?
No, but that's Commander Bond.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I know.
So I think it's meant to be that's where he's got his military training and stuff from the Navy. So where he learned how to fight and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
And like weapons and things. So I think that's where he's meant to come from.
Yeah.
And
a little bit more believable.
Yeah. So that's always kind of been his backstory and stuff. So then he gets picked by him and moulded by M, isn't it, to be like a 00 and become an assassin. So his life is now like one of lying, secrecy, double crossing people, getting double crossed, murder.
Where you can only trust himself.
Is it. So you're going to be a bit, and the only way you can deal with that is kind of by drinking, gambling, sleeping around. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of living this hollow existence.
That's how he copes.
Yeah,
that's his coping.
So this is where I think Daniel Craig's really tried to make Bond more of a human. Yeah. We can see him as a three-dimensional person.
Yeah,
and we can see why he is the way he is.
And his personal development throughout all the films that he's, obviously once you get to Spectre, he stays with Madeline.
Doesn't kill Blofeld.
Doesn't kill Blofeld.
Because she doesn't want him to become just a killer like her father.
So it kind of... He's trying to change his ways.
Mm-hmm.
Then obviously we jump into No Time to Die.
He's not quite there yet, isn't it? At the beginning of No Time to Die, he's not the trust.
He was getting there. He was literally about to...
Let it go.
Let it go.
Forgive me. He goes and then he burns it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And let the secrets go.
And he wants to let all the secrets go. He wants to listen all about Madeline, and he'll probably be happy with what she's got to say because he's kind of given up a lot. She's given up a lot.
But his flaw is his paranoia and his trust issues.
Yeah.
And his cynicism.
Yeah.
And then that's what Spectre used to play on it.
Yeah.
And it destroys this thing. And this is what I found quite moving, quite haunting.
Yeah.
And at the end he realises he's wasted his life, hasn't he?
He's wasted 5 years.
He says that.
Yeah.
Wasted it. Skipping ahead a little bit. Because we have that, obviously we had that bit with Paloma with the funny bit. We'll get back to that.
Yeah,
but I kind of just want to roll here about the emotional stuff.
Yeah.
This is the emotional through line of the story, which I don't really find very often in Bond films, is that
we never talk about this.
He goes to her and he tells her that he's wrong and that he loves her.
Yeah.
And that thing. We haven't seen that kind of sensitivity since.
No.
Maybe Casino Royale and also on Her Majesty's Secret
But
Service.
no other Bond, apart from George Lazenby on
has
Her
been that
Majesty's
vulnerable.
Secret Service,
That
has never been that vulnerable. The way Bond used to get over other women or his trauma was literally just sleeping with a new woman.
Yeah.
That's how he would cope. But this Bond, which I actually kind of like, he stuck at it. I mean, obviously, we didn't know what he got up to in those 5 years in Jamaica, but we'll let him off. We'll give him a free pass.
He probably did. We assumed that he had. Yeah.
Yeah. But at least he could come back and say, look, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
I love you. I don't want to be with you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly. Which was it's quite moving, quite emotional.
And I like that stuff with the daughter. Like, he looks after her and cooks her breakfast and stuff. And it's the kind of thing.
It brings it into such a more human touch to it.
Bond would do that.
Yeah.
I think in my head, a lot of people say, no, this isn't. I think Bond would do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he's not a baddie. He's not a horrible person.
No.
Like, he's a kind person.
Inside, he's a kind person. He's just got a killer's mind because that's coming back to you. That's how M moulded him.
Mm.
He was, a hot shot off the Navy. That's how I can imagine him coming off Casino Royale. Maybe he's literally just been like, right, you're now going to become a cold-blooded killer who's going to do my bidding, and that's how he was moulded. And he's kind of stepping away from that. And this is the last film that he can fully step away from being that person.
Because Quentin Marsalis, he kind of goes to the brink of being the killer, the psychopath Bond, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then he learns,
And he could have had his way with whatever her name was.
Olga Korin. Oh, I can't remember her name. But she kind of teaches him a little bit about revenge now. It's not the way.
Yeah, and she kind of says, like, just sleeping with me don't solve the issue. She's like, as much as I would love it, it ain't going to solve the problems, mate. But
there's one bit.
Yeah, go on.
Where, so this is where giving him a daughter again makes him. I think the point of this movie, and why I find it's a movie, is Bond actually grows up a bit,
100%,
and he gets a bit of an emotional life, and he can be both. He can be a hero and can do that.
Yeah, because he's become a dad, he still knows how to fucking use a gun. Do you know what I mean? So he's still got that level of.
And there's a brilliant bit. It's only a small bit, but I like these little small details in movies. Small characters where, when they're getting chased by the bad guys.
Yeah.
And in the woods, and he gives her the gun and says, anyone else apart from me, come through the door, shoot them. And then they're running around, and he hasn't got the gun.
Yeah.
And he's carrying the Matilda, the
Yeah.
little girl, and then the guy comes out and goes to shoot him, and he spins and turns his back.
Yeah.
So he's going to take the bullet for the little girl, which obviously Bond would do because he's a hero.
100%.
He's like that.
It's all those little details. Yeah,
and he turns around and the gun goes off. It's almost like you think the bad guy's shot, but it's not. It's Madeline shot the other bad guy. So there's that little that moment where it spins round.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very subtle details.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's just it's character reveals. That's 100%. Why action scenes. I have to tip my hat to the director, Cary Fukunaga.
Yeah.
That's what he does. I mean, he did True Detective Series 1.
Yeah.
And he done some other serious drama movies like Beasts of No Nations and things with Idris Elba.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what he brings to it. Like he's a great visualist and great action things, but he brings the character stuff to it. I think more so than many other directors. He kind of has a feel. And he says in interviews, he says, "I've got a feel for I'm more interested in what the emotions and what the characters are doing, and I've got a bit of a feel for how they're feeling."
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's nothing.
No, but if we're gonna again, we have to swing ourselves back, don't we? But
yeah. So the
Paloma,
because what we're talking about so far is the serious stuff and the drama.
Yeah, but this was where it started getting a little bit comedic, which
it becomes fun.
It becomes fun.
Quite fun. The film is still quite fun.
And in some ways, Bond sometimes it's too much fun and it's too much comedy.
Can you ever have too much fun?
Yeah, you can.
Too much fun.
But no, this is actually comes at a really good part of the film where I think it needed it. It needed a little bit of light heart. It needed to let himself loose.
There's some serious stuff coming later.
Yeah,
let's have a little bit of
and fun. This was a bit of a breather for him. So she was very heavily featured in trailers.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was me and you saying that we thought she was going to get killed off.
They keep playing again. This is where they're kind of subverting the expectation.
Yes.
Because that's what normally would happen, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because they were setting her up for that. They was, I'm really nervous. 3 weeks training, whether she was joking or not.
And you kept thinking, if this was another Bond movie,
she'd be disposable.
She'd make a little mistake near the end.
Yeah, and she'd be disposable.
She's like Strawberry Fields in
Quantum of Solace.
Yeah, that kind of thing. The young innocent one that you
100%.
So I'm thinking, here we go again.
Yeah, and then
especially since they make her so funny.
I thought, maybe they're going to have a kiss beforehand. They don't. It's good. She's like, I've got someone waiting for me at home, even though she didn't say that, but maybe it's me or you.
Doesn't have to. Don't have to. They're just colleagues. They're just working together. Don't have to.
No, but he was going to try his luck.
You don't know that. Maybe he's growing up a bit. He probably thinks she's a little young.
Yeah, maybe I need to stick to...
Diana de Armas isn't that young. She's 33.
She looks very young in that film, though, which is great. But no, she's great. She can handle him. They bounced off each other quite well.
Yeah, they've got a lot of charisma.
Yeah.
A lot of chemistry. Both
and they worked quite well. And then it started... we went into that scene quite fun. And then this is where it all started to switch about a bit more about the Hercules and everything like that, because of our favourite guy, the Russian scientist. I can't even remember his name.
He's wandered in from another movie, hasn't he? Like something.
Yeah, it's
like a Marvel-y kind of movie.
Yeah, it's again. He just plays that. He just plays that.
A bit more slightly broader movie.
But he switches the DNA at the last minute to kill Spectre. I don't really know what his issue. I guess Safin's done that because
Safin wants to kill Spectre.
He wants to kill Spectre
because they killed his family.
They killed his family. Again, we'll get to that.
Which
So yeah, he does that. Great. Okay, cool. That was quite a good thing. She thought, "Oh my god, how's Bond going to get out of this?" Well, he did because
he's Bond.
He's Bond, and
yeah. It's quite a funny, good action sequences, like lots of.
And it was quite cool to see that pretty much all of his enemies, even though they're not his true enemies, but obviously Spectre, pretty much everyone had died from Spectre. Only left was Blofeld.
So should we've kind of gone that bit now.
Yeah.
I think we should address Safin.
Yeah.
We talked about him a bit.
Yeah.
Played by Rami Malek.
Yeah.
He's a bit disappointing villain.
He's just a poor version of Dr. No. I think it's not his fault. I think he's a great actor. However, I don't think he was very well written.
No, it is. It's usually that. I usually say with most films, it's not an actor problem all the time. It's
how they've been written.
A written thing. The director, Kerry Fukunaga, he said that they were writing the script as they were making the movie. And apparently, he said I was shooting scenes with Ray Fiennes as M.
Yeah.
And literally having him look at the camera and say things like, look at the screen and go, "Where are you, Bond? Bond, you've got to get there. You've only got 10 minutes to go." And he was like, literally like vague stuff that I knew I could cut into the movie once we've actually written what Bond was doing. And it's like stuff like that.
Oh no, and it shows definitely so.
And because there's some other problems with that later, but with Safin, what's his name? Yeah, Rami Malek. He's a decent actor, isn't he? He doesn't play him. He's not a funny villain like, say, Silver had a bit more humour to him.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Christoph Waltz has a bit of playfulness with him as Blofeld.
Yeah,
naturally.
But Safin's out for one reason only. He doesn't.
Well, he seems to be out for many reasons that are a bit conflicting with each other.
Well, yeah, no, definitely.
That's the problem.
I mean, the start, how he introduced to his character, I thought was quite well written.
Yeah. He's out for revenge and he wants to kill.
The suspense of his backstory, he just kills Mrs. White.
You can understand why he wants to kill Spectre.
100%.
But why does he want to kill everyone else? This is where they never quite pin him down.
He never.
Other than the fact he's just crazy and he's just psycho.
Yeah, he then wanted to destroy the world. as soon as he knew about Bond and Madeline, he's like, yeah, I'm going to kill Bond then.
I'm now in love with Madeline and have to have Madeline.
Yeah, it was a bit like one scene.
He's got about 3 different motivations. It's like,
one scene he's like, oh, I saved you, you owe me, I love you. And then he's like, no, I'm actually going to kill you, I just want to take your child.
Yeah.
It was just all very weird.
And it was, I don't know, like, it's like they tried to give him a personal reason for the things that he was doing. Yeah. But he, one minute they want him to be, he's doing it for revenge for the people that killed his family, but then he gets revenge on the people that killed his family quite quickly, like Spectre and that. Yeah. And then he's like, oh, I'm still evil though, I'm still trying to take over the world. And you're like, why?
He's just not very convincing.
And then it's also like, his dad made poisons and he had the poison garden. Yeah. But he's not the one that makes the virus, it's the Russian scientist guy.
Yes. So he's talented in making viruses, yet he's relying on a Russian guy. Yeah.
So who's making it? Why has it got to be a poison island?
It's all...
And who's working for him? Why is he getting his... Is it like Hank Scorpio? Oh. Scorpio? He lures you with his generous pension.
Exactly.
Like, he just pays really well. Why are these people following him?
Because, he's obviously got loads and loads of money. But
he's good. He's a creepy villain.
He's quite creepy. My only issue is, obviously, they, again, playing on the deformity.
Yeah, a lot of people have said
that. For a villain, and I just think... I totally get why people were saying that, because it is a bit like, why has he got to have a deformity to be a villain? Yeah. And why, I don't really get why. It would have been maybe better if there was nothing wrong, nothing's happened to him. Do you know what I mean? He's not been poisoned or...
Well, they did that with Dominic Green, didn't they? That's what they wanted to be like a normal-looking guy.
I know, but then
he didn't have anything wrong with him.
Yeah, but he weren't top of the chain, though, was he?
No.
Safin's on his own, and he is top of the chain. That's what I feel.
And it would have been better if he played him as Freddie Mercury. Deo. Could have been like that, couldn't it?
Could have been very good. So I think that was the case.
But yeah, he wasn't particularly... Yeah.
No,
the only thing I think of is that because he doesn't feel very physically imposing if they make him a little bit more deformed. But then, should we be doing that in a 21st century movie?
No.
Saying, oh, if someone's deformed, then they're obviously evil, that kind of thing, isn't it?
No, and obviously... and I don't think they played on the fact that he's sort of like... You'd think, okay, he's not physically strong. Where's his mentally strong aspect to him as well? Because as far as I'm concerned, he's just getting everyone to do it for him. I mean, great business model if he wants to be the top and don't want to do anything. But he's saying he's this ultra genius, while everyone else is doing the work for him, mate.
That could be good if that's what they were playing up. That he's actually kind of just a weak kind of playing at being a supervillain. Yeah. I just think because they were so focused on Bond's story, they let things like the plot elements kind of drift a bit, and they let some of the other characters
very well written Bond, but then again they focused so much on giving him a good ending and a good farewell that they let other things slack, i.e. some of the side characters.
Moneypenny, I was watching that. I think she doesn't do anything. She just stands in the office and watches the screen. I've realised that she's in about 5
She's
scenes.
got no.
She doesn't say anything.
No,
she just stands in the background.
It's so awkward. Like. Q, and I thought at the start, she was coming around his for dinner, but I think he's
meant to be gay.
He's meant to be gay, but she's just an underwhelming character, and it's such a shame because they writ her so well in Skyfall when she was out in the field.
They don't really know what to do with her.
They kind of did her story arc, and then didn't know what to do with her. She then just got put on the bench.
I know Moneypenny is Moneypenny. She usually just...
I know, but then the thing is, I thought the whole point of this was they were trying to reboot the characters and not make her like just... Because in all the old films, that's all she was. And I think I'm convinced, even in the older films, I think Samantha Bond had more shit to do than what she did.
Yeah.
And she didn't even do much.
Yeah,
but she felt a bit more pivotal.
She has a few more like flirty lines and stuff. So she doesn't have any like that.
No,
remove that element from their relationship. Haven't they?
Yeah, because apparently she's supposed to be like taken or whatever. Yeah. I don't know, but she's not worth talking about much more because I just think she's a great actress. I think underused. She's well written in Skyfall. I get it. She can't be the focus point of every film or
because we're trying to set up 007.
Yeah, trying to set up Nomi, I get it. I don't know, they're missing a trick there. Q, as funny as ever. But again, he didn't really... I know it's not what they were trying to do.
I still don't quite like the dynamic they've got between them.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like a father-son...
Well, it's not even that. It's just like the jock and dork guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but then they kind of have mutual respect for each
Yeah.
other, and it's like, well, come on, play it one way. But then
Hope this bribe one works, nerding now.
exactly, yeah. And again, it's just like underwritten. But I mean, these characters are pivotal to Bond, yet they again
Are
are
they?
just. I think so. I think
In a way, yeah.
throughout the whole,
They are trying to make it more of a team thing, a bit like Mission Impossible.
Yeah, and I get that, and I'm glad that maybe they weren't as used for maybe to carry on the story, and he couldn't be anywhere without his team because that's not what Bond's about. But MQ and Moneypenny are pivotal to the Bond franchise, and they were just written as really poor side characters. That's kind of maybe what they're supposed to be. M gets a little bit more because he's got his arc in that setting up the Hercules thing or whatever. But yeah, that's all I have to say on those.
I think we can. Should we get to the ending then?
100%. So obviously, you know,
Madeline. I've just got one negative thing to say about it. And I know I didn't moan about plot details. It's just something that you can see where they're trying to construct the narrative tension doesn't quite work because watching yesterday, they're saying we've got to launch. There's boats coming towards the island to pick up the poison. Yeah.
Mm.
And they're like, you've got to launch the weapons within 20 minutes, otherwise those boats are going to get there. And you're like, that's pretty lame, ticking clock. Because like blow up the boats, stop the boats from picking up the stuff.
It's so like they didn't even need the boats to be there.
Because it's going to take them a while to load up the boats, isn't it? So like
exactly, and all the workers pissed off anyway.
Yeah.
As soon as they knew the thing was melting down,
there was all helicopters.
They all left and picked them all up and was going. It's just so. Again,
and Bond has a kind of a bit of a one last kind of John Wick moment where he's just like running up.
Yeah, and I said to you, it was only because I
think
he wanted to try and get over Pierce Brosnan's killed on screen record.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
They should have had a counter in the corner. Like,
should have done that. That would have been quite cool. That would have been quite cool with Pierce Brosnan's face with 57.
I'm invincible.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, that would have
killed.
Cool.
Like, yeah, he actually killed one and don't.
But I think the gun sequences were quite cool.
I don't know. This is something just my own personal thing. Is I think that sometimes is a bit off. Sometimes in modern movies and things, see where they just like indiscriminately just kill people. And it's just bloodless. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that can be. I'm not really someone who's a prude or anything like that, but I think that's a bit.
No,
a 12A movie, and it's just like, and then there's no blood. They just fall down on the floor.
Yeah, I get that.
So it's almost like they're being knocked out, but it's not. But then
then
they're just mowing down faces. It's no different.
It's not quite Django Unchained.
Well, yeah, but at least people. Yeah, when they get killed, like you feel it though. You can
100%. Yeah.
Whereas in it's like Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's just like blood mowing them all down in a row and stuff like that. It's like that.
Yeah. But again, so Safin's got what's her name?
Who, Madeline or Matilda? He's got both of them.
Matilda.
He's got Matilda.
Is it Matilda?
You're doing a bit from Zoolander where he's like. My name's Matilda. He's like, can I call you Matilda? Do you mind if I call you Matilda? Matilda, her name is.
Yeah.
Poor girl. Her name's Matilda. Matilda.
Okay. Yeah. So he's trapped Madeline away, and it's all very much. And it was the bit for me when he was like, yeah, I've got insurance and holding up the blood vial. I thought, I know what you're fucking doing here.
Yeah.
I was like, I see.
Yeah, but they've got to set it up to pay
it off. I know. I see it from.
Because if it comes out of nowhere, you'd be like, where does it come from? You've got to set it up to pay it off.
So, we're moving on, and we think he's going to do it. He's opening up the blast doors. He's got his family to safety.
Open the blast doors.
Open the blast doors.
Star Wars,
yeah. There's something like that in Austin Powers as well. But yeah. So obviously Naomi has a little bit of a gun down scene as well, which she's just cool anyway. I think they've played her.
And there's that great bit when he leads them like get on the boat, and there's a nice little touch again where he goes like, "This is my," and he sort of whispers without saying it, "family," doesn't he?
Yeah.
Because it's almost like Bond can't quite say it.
Yeah, he can't. He doesn't know.
And then there's that nice bit where he finds a doo-doo. You know, the little toilet.
Oh yeah, that is.
And he's running around with like the little.
That's quite cool. Like, but then, as soon as it was like, oh no, someone's closed it, I thought, oh fucking Safi, of course he's in. And then all of a sudden, he's like a crack shot with a gun. But then it kind of led that up in the beginning because he obviously knew how to handle it.
Oh yeah, because he kills the thing in that.
Yeah, so it kind of made sense. He got shot a couple of times. I thought, fuck,
Bond's been shot.
I thought, shit, and he's actually hurt.
Yeah.
And he's in this pool and he's like, oh my God. And then
he gets the DNA stuck on him.
Yeah, that bit. And then I started thinking, I thought, no, you can't.
What, kill him? You thought they were going to kill him?
No, I thought that's the Hercules. He ain't going to go back to Madeline and Matilda now.
Yeah. I just say, another bit when he's talking to Safin, you know when you said about it's not about fighting, it's his intellect.
Yes.
That was another scene where I like that, where Bond was trying to talk to him, but say to him, like, me and you were both orphans, we never had a chance. He was trying
to very much reason with the villain and actually had...
An emotion, trying to make an emotional...
Yeah, and where it was... Because he knew he could probably gun down everyone, but he was kind of a little bit unsure because he was like, yeah, I'll just chuck
up in the air. If he could do it without blowing everyone away, he could do it.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it was very... That was quite good.
And then he breaks Safin's arm and then shoots him dead.
Yeah, it's quite cool. He breaks Safin, and then fucking finishes him. Yeah, nice. But then he's walking back slow and I think he looks like he can't be arsed.
There's no time.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, all right, you got plenty of time.
There's that nice little moment when he's like, how'd you get it off? And he's like, you can't. And he's like, okay.
I know, it's like one last...
And he's like,
I can't believe...
Okay. Like,
I know, and I was like a little bit like, not teary-eyed, but I was
it's moving.
I was getting a little bit like, I was starting to think, I was like, this coming
I'm not sure if they could have done... They kind of hedged their bets a bit. I think there could have been an alternate ending where, like, he lives, but he can't be with Madeline.
We did say the only other way he could have done that is, he would have had to go back to...
That old life.
Being on his own, the old life. But then I'll kind of...
Then it undoes his character journey by then,
the more I think about this ending, I kind of like it.
Yeah, I think it works.
I think it does work. It could have gone really terribly wrong, just killing him out of nowhere or whatever. But this kind of... He had a reason to sacrifice...
Just wakes up one morning and like, come on, Bond, we got to go to the villain's lair. Bond? And he's like...
He's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah, exactly. And then someone just comes over and takes over him. No, and I think, like, he kind of just stands there and he's like, look, I've done what I can do. He saved the world.
He saved the world.
You know, and it's like, he's gutted, isn't he? Obviously, he's just found out about this kid and he's got Madeline back to loving him and he's like, I wasted these 5 years and what if he didn't, what if he trusted her? Yeah, that's what I found
quite moving. There's stuff like that.
It looks like the time that he was looking over in the sea and thinking, it was like he was probably thinking all the things in his head, what if, but...
That's what I liked about it, because that is why it kind of hit me quite hard, like, I'm older than you, like we said.
Yeah.
You got this to come, those lives of regret and wasted years. And
100%, and maybe, you know...
But at least he comes to some kind of peace at the end. He's kind of healed himself. He's allowed himself to love.
Yeah, he's gave up his vulnerable side. He's been able to trust again. He hasn't been able to love anyone like this since Vespa. He's
love and be loved in return.
He's very much full circled. He's 360 back,
and he's also got someone to pass. There's something left of him now. There's a daughter. There's something left of him.
Yeah, and he's in a very cringy way. Is a mission accomplished, isn't it?
Yeah. No, he's yeah, and there's a part of the world. He's a part of the world now. Yeah. There's some sort of connection with someone else, which is the thing. The thing is with actually, it thematically works with the virus thing, isn't it? Because the theme of it is the DNA theme. Yeah. That we can that it can connects to certain families. And things. So this is the whole point about Bond passing on. Having a family, having a child, and having some sort of physical connection with other people. Yeah. So that's where that kind of fits.
Yeah, he killed himself so they could have a life.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of I think with the plot of the virus stuff, that's where it fits in. Yeah, it kind of works emotionally.
Yeah, 100%.
Doesn't just not about making sense all the time.
No.
And then they blow him up.
They blow him up. Very sad.
There's no way he can live. And like we said, he's not going to. Because he kept thinking, like, are they going to do a bit where, like, he just comes, like, he's under the water and he's like, like, pats himself down.
You've seen X-Men Orange is Wolverine,
Origins.
Oranges.
Did you say?
I thought I said Oranges.
I think you said X-Men Origins.
Origins, yeah.
Oranges.
Yeah, with that shitty Deadpool.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think it's like an after-credit scene when he's, like, in the rubble and he's like, boo. I was expecting something like that. It didn't happen. Kind of glad because it would have unwritten everything.
Yeah.
Because obviously we get 2 scenes at the end. We get all of his buddies back to work. I can clink the glass. I think you bastards has only been gone 5 minutes, but they've got to carry on. They can't.
It's a nice understated because they could have done, like I said,
they could have done a massive
like a Gandhi scene with like hundreds of people at the funeral.
100%. But that's not what his character was. He wasn't a very public guy. Not many people knew what he was doing, and that's the point of his character. And then obviously you get the sexy Aston Martin V8
All the time in the world.
All the time in the world. Beautiful at the end.
Yeah, no.
Let me tell you a story about a man called Bond. It was kind of like...
become Bond, James Bond.
Yeah.
Then it's all like about the whole storytelling about what Bond is.
But I was expecting him to be driving that car. It would have made no sense. But do you know what? No, but do you know what I mean? I thought, maybe it's his final way.
It would have been cheap.
It would have been very cheap. Yeah, it would have unwritten everything that he did.
If you're going to kill Bond, this was the time to do it.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, now they can say, right, that's the 5-film saga of Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
He's done something totally different with it.
Yeah.
If you don't agree with his interpretation of Bond, that's fine because he's now dead.
Yeah.
His character is completed.
Watch this new guy.
Yeah. And I think the next ones will be, they'll just start with him as if it was like they did with Pierce Brosnan, like they do with Timothy Dalton. He's just a new Bond. This is the next mission. There'll be him there. Get him in.
He's already established.
Yeah, they're not going to do. I don't think they'll do like a new training thing or a prequel.
There's
I think
no
they'll just
origin.
say
on to your next mission, mate.
And it'll be like and it'll be a bit like the old school style. There'll be a super villain. There'll be some plot going on.
Yeah, and I think that'll be quite a cool way to bring it back.
I think that's where they'll go with it next. Okay. And they'll just reference this Daniel Craig and stuff, and there's the Daniel Craig ones, but it'll be this nice little like the Dark Knight ones. The Dark Knight films had Christian Bale at the beginning. And it had the end, and it had him retiring, as if it was Batman was all done in that story.
Yeah, and Robin was going to take over his mantle.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. And then with this Bond as well, like that, you could have that. They could do a spin-off. There's talk about that with Naomi as the Lashana Lynch as Naomi is playing like a female 007, because they're saying like there won't be a woman James Bond.
No.
I know Barbara Broccoli is already the producer of it.
She's already said it.
No, Bond is a man.
Mm-hmm.
Women need their own hero, don't they? So they shouldn't be just changing them. They should be making Doctor Who. It makes sense because it's an alien that can change into whatever it wants.
Yeah.
So it could change into a woman. Bond is a man. He could be black.
Yeah.
He could be as long as he's a British male. I think like that's the thing. It could be something like that.
Definitely.
There's no reason why he couldn't be anything like that. Like he couldn't be black or like I said, Henry Golding or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
There's no reason why he couldn't look different.
But I'm excited to see they bring it out next. I think, then I might eat my words because they might, bring someone in that I absolutely hate and I'll be like, oh no. But then until I see the first film, I can't say anything. It was the same with Daniel Craig. Everyone was like, oh no, he's like too blonde for Bond. I remember all those headlines and whatever.
He's too dull, he's not too miserable.
And then he kicked ass with that Casino Royale.
Yeah, brilliant.
And he was brilliant. And again, I think this was a fitting way to end his 15 years.
And we'll miss him. And
I think I'm going to miss him more than I thought I would.
Yeah, me too.
Because I thought, first couple of films, I thought, alright, but I think for me, he's topping into my top 3 Bonds.
Yeah, definitely for me, because I think I said he was the best actor to play Bond. I didn't necessarily in my review that I wrote. Yeah. But I don't mean he's the best Bond. Yeah, read it on my Craig's Film Reviews.
Good plug,
yeah, WordPress. But he's not the best Bond, but I think he's the best actor to play Bond, and he plays him as a character. I think it's what Timothy Dalton wanted to do with him.
Yeah, but just
never really got the chance to do it.
Yeah,
and then and actually turned him into a 3-dimensional kind of human, moved him into the 21st century. Pushed him into new directions.
And took his character to new boundaries and new depths.
And overall, No Time to Die is brilliant entertainment. It's like
action every other scene kept me excited.
Action packed, well made, well shot.
I left that film buzzing. I was like, I was quite, I wasn't left disappointed.
No,
I was a little bit gutted. Like, we come out and I was like, I finally did it. And I was so gutted, but like I keep saying right now, I think it's the best way to do it.
That's what a good film should do.
That's what a good film should do. It's when he leaves you gutted and you think, oh. But
it leaves that bittersweet emotion.
Bittersweet, but they did it in such a good way, and I'm excited for what they bring next. I don't want the Bond franchise to die off.
It will never die.
I think No Time to Die. I think it might
change.
Yeah, it will change completely. But I'm optimistic to what they might bring.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Excited, and maybe Daniel Craig's made us excited again.
Yeah.
To see what Bond can bring.
He's made him relevant.
Again,
21st century.
100%, yeah, and it's
in a thing where people are afraid that Bond isn't relevant anymore.
Yeah,
because he's not.
Yeah,
he's the old style fantasy of a man.
Whoever plays him next, he's had a very good torch that's been passed to him, basically, to build off of that legacy that Daniel Craig's built.
I think that's a good place to end there, George.
100%.
Right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Hope you enjoyed No Time to Die. Hope you enjoyed our pod. If you like what you heard, hit like. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. There's lots of other ones. We'll be doing some more again soon, lately.
Get back on it, yeah,
back on
definitely.
it. But thanks for watching.
Thanks very much, guys.